Do not do mewing before you listen to what I'm about to say. So, I've made several videos related to mewing, and a lot of guys reached out to me on Instagram and they're telling me, yeah, they've got this problem, they've got that problem. Now, the reason I'm making this video, I'm going to talk about that, but the reason I'm making this video, that why you should reconsider if you actually should do mewing, and why, if you should not do mewing, why you should not do it, right? So here's what happens. Mewing can be risky, especially if you're not careful. Why? Especially if you're a beginner in the beginning. I've seen actually a guy reached out to me today and he said that he did hard mewing in the beginning, and that kind of he put uneven pressure, and then one side is a little like the upper jaw is a little asymmetrical now. So mewing has a lot of, like, there is risk if you're doing mewing, right? Like if you even have, like, let's say you just started with mewing and you already have a uneven palate. If you do mewing, what's going to happen? Naturally, you're going to put more pressure on the side, on the side of the palate, which is already wider. What is it going to do? Yes, your face might get more developed, stuff like that, but what is it going to do? It's only going to increase the asymmetry. It's only going to increase, like, the side of the palate, which is wider. Your tongue naturally is going to rest more to that side, on that side, so naturally that side will be more developed. Another thing, a lot of guys have been reaching out to me on Instagram, asking me for solutions that either they did uneven mewing, right? Either they already have a uneven like the asymmetry, right? The jaw, one side of jaw is wider, the other isn't. One is defined, the other isn't, right? And I'm asking, and I'm trying to understand if it actually is caused by mewing. Like, if you have actually, like, I'm asking different questions to them. If you have, are you exactly sure that this happened because of mewing? Because here's the thing, it can be genetics, and I have to be sure, and I can't just tell them, yeah, you have an uneven face, so do mewing this way, do mewing with that way. I can't say that, because there can be different causes to, like, there can be different causes to having an uneven jaw, an uneven face. Like, you, one side of the face is wider, the other isn't, there's basically asymmetry, right? And I had a lot of guys reach out to me and they're kind of saying the same things, but the causes can be different, right? So one guy either has choose more on one side, right? And the other guy maybe have been not maybe, but like has been sleeping more on one side and less on the other. One guy had put more pressure on one side compared to the other on the palate. Like, they're different cases, but at the same time, they are not even sure if this is exactly what caused the asymmetry, because this is a tricky situation. You can't fully be sure, because if it's not the mewing which caused it, I can't just say, oh yeah, now that you're, how do I say this, the side which is less developed, put more pressure on that side. What if it wasn't even mewing which caused it? Like, if they were doing mewing right, but if it was already there. Sometimes this is true. Sometimes you think that it wasn't there, but it actually was. You just noticed it later. That's reality. Like, it actually happens. You may think it wasn't there before you started mewing, but the thing is, you were not looking for it. And yes, this is another thing. So it can go both ways. If you could look at your pictures, like your past pictures, that could show you that. So that's also another thing. So it can go both ways. So mewing has risks, brothers. Like, especially a lot of beginners are gonna do this. And actually, a guy reached out to me today, and he said that he did hard mewing, and now his face is a little asymmetrical, not that much, but a little bit. Before it wasn't. And this is another thing. I'm trying to ask them question to be sure if what they are saying is exactly what caused the uneven, like the asymmetry, whatever you wanna call it, right? And what was I about to say? Come on, remember. think I was about to say that. It's crazy. I've literally forgot. Should I stop it and then try to think about it? Probably, yeah. Yeah, so I remembered, right? I remembered what I'm about to say. So this is what happens. A lot of beginners, when they're starting with mewing, I've said this a lot of time, but this is important. You need to hear this. They put either the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, but only the tip. And the chance is higher, if you're only putting the tip, the chance is higher that you actually may push the teeth from the back. Like you may push it from the back, right? The front teeth. And that, you don't want that. You don't want to do that, because you're going to destroy, your teeth. I mean, it's just your smile. You're ruining your smile if you're doing that. So that's not, don't do it. Now, obviously saying is pointless, don't do it. But what you need to do, if you should do mewing, if you're going to be doing mewing, you need to be very careful, because this is a serious matter. You need to be very careful. What do I mean when I say careful? Do not be in a hurry. Be sure that the tongue of your tongue is fully resting on the roof of the mouth. Like, it's not just the tip which has to rest. It's the middle and the back as well. Like, fully like this. And honesty is gonna take time, especially if you're a beginner. You actually may not be able to put the whole tongue on the roof of the mouth. It will take time because it's a muscle. But do not put too much pressure that you may, like, if you put too much pressure, the chance is very high that you're gonna put more pressure on one side and less to the other. So it's better to make sure that you do not put that much pressure. This is a serious matter. You don't want to ruin your face. I mean, it can fix your face. It can give you a good jawline. But it can also give you asymmetry if you're not careful. So this is a serious matter. So should you do mewing? You can, but you're going to have to be careful, because listen, I have a lot of guys reaching out to me, and they're reaching out to me for a reason. Some of them, yes, they made mistakes with mewing. Some of them, they already had this before mewing. And this is another thing. Mewing can fix these things as well, if you do it correctly. It depends on your case, if it started with mewing or if it was before mewing. Like, there can be different things here. But I forgot again what was I about to say. Anyway, what can I say? Half dead person. What can I say? What am I supposed to say? Remember, if you can't even remember what you're about to say, how the hell are you supposed to say anything? Basically, mewing can fix your face. It can ruin your face. Yeah, this is what I'm about to say. Remember now. If you have an uneven face already without, like, before mewing, you didn't start mewing, and you already have that, mewing can fix it as well. It just depends on if you do it correctly, and it depends, and it's different for everybody. Why? Because it depends on what was the reason that you have an uneven face. Is it genetics? Is it that you chewed on one side more to the other compared to the other? Is it because you slept on one side more to compared to the other? Like, there can be different things, and you have to know that to, like, be able to give a solution to the people who are asking. Like, it's a tricky situation, because I can't just say that, oh, do this, do that. I can't say that, because some of them are not sure, and there's nothing wrong with that, because it's a tricky situation. It's not even their fault, but it would be your fault if now you listen to this and you still do something like this. Like, if you put more pressure without knowing that, because the thing is, if you don't know that, even if your posture is correct, the tongue posture, if you don't even know and you do hard mewing, you're ruining your face. You may get defined face, but it's going to be asymmetrical. And I'm not saying that it will happen, but it can happen, especially if you're doing mewing and especially if you're a beginner. And I'm not exaggerating things here. If you think I'm exaggerating things, there are people who are asking me for these kind of, solutions for different, they're kind of the same thing, but they have like asymmetry most of the time. A lot of times it's because of hard mewing, they put uneven pressure. Some of them it's because of other reasons, chewing on one side more, some of them genetic stuff like that. So mewing can cause this, mewing can fix this as well, but you have to be careful. So should you do mewing? There's nothing wrong with doing mewing, but you have to remember, the people who reach out to me, they say that I wish I didn't do mewing. Obviously, some of them who already had already like okay jawline, they most of the time would say that. The people who didn't have a good jawline and they had a good they got a good jawline because of mewing, obviously they say, yeah, I understand, I made a mistake, understandable. But you need to understand that I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but you have to be careful. You don't want to ruin your face. So be careful, right? Be careful. So if you have a question, by the way, and if I think I can help, reach out to me on Instagram. And because this is another thing, I can't fully give you yes or no question answer, related to that. You need to do this or do that. It depends on your case, how, what happened, what caused it, uneven mewing, whatever. So it depends on that. But if you have a question, you can ask me, you can reach out to me on Instagram. Yeah, that's that for this recording. So be careful, especially if you're a beginner. Do not do hard mewing, especially if you're a beginner. And I'm gonna make a few 1 or 2 videos related to a lot of mistakes which you're supposed to make most likely if you're doing mewing. So I'm gonna make that. You can watch that. See you later.